So let's talk in more practical ways as to what this involves. So the next thing on your outline is that the key is based on what we've called the four-legged chair. And some of you that may ring a bell because this actually is part of our Closer Look class. Some of you, it's been quite a few years since you've been in that class. But we do touch on this aspect of helping people to understand ministry teams in that class. The four-legged chair, and the reason it's four-legged is because a four-legged chair is a pretty stable chair, right? I mean, if all the legs are screwed tight and level, and it's you're sitting on a four-legged chair. It's pretty stable. A three-legged chair, you can get by with that, but it's not quite as stable. Two-legged chair, good luck. Any of you ever sat on a one-legged chair? Yeah, me too. What were you doing? There you go, milking cows. Yep, a one-legged little stool milking a cow. And about that time, the cow's tail comes over and slaps you upside the head, and you fall off your one-legged chair. Yeah. Not real stable. It takes a talent to be able to keep yourself balanced on that in view of the flies and the tail and everything else. But what are these four legs? Now we're talking about ministry teams here. What is it that helps our ministry teams, to be able to be stable and to be set up in such a way for their success? First of all is responsibility. Every team has a ministry description. In those booklets that are being made available tonight, and they will be the next few Sundays as well, because ministry team signups are starting not this Sunday, but a week from this Sunday, the last 2 Sundays of February, the first 2 Sundays of March. And inside those, you got 21 ministries, and every ministry has a ministry description, including a purpose statement. And basically what that involves is basically insight into what the responsibility is for that team. Whatever team it is, that is an explanation of what that team, why it exists, what it is to be involved in doing, okay? So you got a responsibility. Secondly, every team has authority. And when I say this, authority, I mean, this is a big thing when you're coming from the old school approach of committees. Authority here is primarily talking about the authority to make decisions. We want to equip every ministry to make at least the majority of the decisions that involves their ministry, and perhaps all of the decisions. Once in a while, a particular ministry will have a big type of thing that they're faced with that will have kind of a rippling effect that involves other ministries as well. And so that may involve bringing in staff or bringing in eldership to be a part of that. But the vast majority of the decisions that a ministry team comes up against, they have the authority to make that decision. It doesn't have to be funneled through a board. They do that themselves. You're part of determining the particulars in regards to your ministry, whatever that ministry team happens to be. The third leg of the chair, finances. Every team is in the church budget given some finances, some money to be able to be used for the carrying out of their responsibilities, for the health and the benefit of the church so that people can grow and mature in the faith, like Ephesians 4 talks about. So there's the finances. Now we have a budget process, and that budget will involve in a ministry team that they turn everything in sometime around, say, the very beginning of October, give or take a little bit of time, that they turn in what they think they need for the following year, and then that kind of gets screened in a couple of lookovers as it makes its way to the finance teams establishing the budget for the next year. And so sometimes it'll kind of be tossed back the team leader of a ministry team and saying, hey, we want you to look at this or this, and we kind of don't understand why you're putting this down and this amount of money. We need more explanation. So it's not just a rubber stamp approach on our finance team. We need to be good stewards. But it is the ministry team that comes up with a proposed budget. It goes through the ministry team, and then after it gets through the finance team, once it goes through there, then it is sent out to the church membership for their approval. And then by a certain date in December, it becomes the established, approved budget for the next year. Now, one of the little things to throw this out there, and we do remind our team leaders about this, but just so you know it as well, that let's say the ABC ministry has a budget of $3,000 they're working with. But now it's been discovered sometime in September or October that they're actually going to need $3,800. And they give a whole explanation and all of this. Well, that has to go to the eldership to get approval for spending over the budget. Again, that's the whole thing about being good stewards and all. So there's built-in processes regarding, when a team is looking at going over budget. And that's what leads me to the fourth leg of the chair, accountability. If you're giving a group of people responsibility, and you're giving them the authority to make decisions in that area of responsibility, and you're giving them money to use, well, it only goes to say there needs to be some levels of accountability here. And that accountability begins with a pastor overseer. Every pastor is assigned, it kind of varies, anywhere from 3 to 5 different ministry teams that they're basically the sounding board and maybe troubleshooter if some issues are coming up or additional coaching is needed or something along those lines. But that pastor also represents the communication link to the eldership, okay, or to the finance team. So anyway, accountability, that's wired into the structure of all of this.